Welcome. Today I invite you to journey with me into the profound realm of human connection through the lens of ancient Stoic wisdom. In a world that often seems fractured and impersonal, where the rapid pace of modern life can leave us feeling isolated despite being constantly connected, the timeless teachings of Stoicism remind us that genuine relationships and compassionate connection are not only possible, but essential for a life of meaning and virtue. This video explores how the Stoics understood the nature of relationships, the importance of empathy, and the art of cultivating authentic bonds that sustain us through both joy and hardship. Let us begin by stepping back into the origins of Stoic thought. Stoicism emerged in ancient Greece over 2 millennia ago, founded by Zeno of Citium. At its heart, Stoicism teaches that true happiness does not depend on external circumstances but on the inner life, the cultivation of wisdom, virtue, and self-control. Early Stoics recognized that humans are inherently social creatures, interconnected by the natural order and a shared capacity for reason. They believed that by living in accordance with nature and by embracing our common humanity, we can foster relationships that nurture mutual respect and empathy. This foundational insight is as relevant today as it was in antiquity, reminding us that every relationship, whether with family, friends, or even strangers, is an opportunity to practice virtue and to grow in wisdom. In our modern era, many of us face the challenge of maintaining deep, meaningful connections amidst the distractions of digital technology, hectic schedules, and the isolating tendencies of urban life. Yet, the Stoic path offers a way forward, a reminder that the quality of our relationships is a direct reflection of our inner state. When we cultivate our inner virtues, we naturally extend compassion, understanding, and patience to those around us. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most celebrated Stoics, advised that we must act in accordance with nature, which means recognizing that our true nature is relational and that we are meant to live harmoniously with others. This teaching invites us to look beyond superficial interactions and to invest in relationships that are built on mutual trust, respect, and empathy. Consider for a moment the notion of empathy, a quality that the Stoics valued immensely. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, is not merely an emotional response but a disciplined practice. It requires us to listen deeply, to set aside our own judgments, and to connect with others on a fundamental level. In the Stoic view, empathy is intertwined with the concept of cosmopolitanism, the idea that all human beings are citizens of a shared world, connected by common reason and destiny. By cultivating empathy, we break down the barriers of self-interest and isolation, opening ourselves to the possibility of authentic, transformative relationships. One of the practical ways the Stoics encouraged the development of empathy and connection was through the practice of reflective dialogue, both with oneself and with others. They believed that honest, open conversations, free from the pretensions of ego, were essential for personal growth and the cultivation of virtue. In our lives today, where communication is often reduced to fleeting texts and superficial social media interactions, there is much to be learned from this ancient approach. Taking the time to engage in meaningful dialogue, listening attentively, sharing our genuine feelings, and reflecting on our experiences can lead to deeper understanding and a stronger sense of community. Another key aspect of Stoic relationships is the practice of forgiveness and acceptance. The Stoics understood that no one is perfect and that every human being is prone to error. They taught that holding on to anger or resentment only harms the soul and obstructs our ability to form genuine bonds. Seneca, another influential Stoic, counseled that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a strength that liberates us from the burdens of past grievances. By embracing forgiveness, we free ourselves to build relationships that are based on compassion and mutual respect rather than on the chains of old conflicts. This mindset is especially crucial in today's world, where misunderstandings and disagreements can quickly escalate in the fast-moving currents of online discourse and modern communication. As we consider the Stoic perspective on relationships, it is also important to explore how these ancient teachings can be practically applied in our daily interactions. One transformative practice is that of mindful presence, being fully engaged with the people we encounter, giving them our undivided attention, and valuing the uniqueness of every interaction. In a culture that often prioritizes multitasking and constant digital stimulation, the deliberate act of truly listening to another person is both radical and deeply healing. When you set aside distractions and immerse yourself in the moment, you communicate to others that they are valued, that their thoughts and feelings matter. This simple act of presence can lay the foundation for trust and intimacy, qualities that are essential for any meaningful relationship. Moreover, the Stoics believed that relationships are not ends in themselves but serve as a mirror for our own inner lives. Every interaction provides an opportunity for self-reflection, to examine our own biases, fears, and aspirations. When we engage with others, we are not only connecting on an emotional level but also learning about ourselves. The challenges we face in our relationships, whether conflicts or misunderstandings, are invitations to practice patience, humility, and compassion. They push us to grow beyond our immediate concerns and to align our actions with our higher ideals. In this way, the process of cultivating relationships becomes an integral part of our broader journey toward personal excellence and inner peace. Let us now turn our attention to the transformative power of community, the notion that our individual well-being is intimately linked to the health of the communities we belong to. The Stoics were ardent advocates of cosmopolitanism, the belief that we are all interconnected and that our duty extends beyond the narrow confines of our immediate circles. This perspective encourages us to see every person as a fellow traveler on the journey of life, a partner in the quest for wisdom and virtue. Whether it is within our families, among our friends, or in broader social networks, the relationships we forge are vital sources of support, insight, and inspiration. They remind us that even in moments of personal struggle, we are never truly alone. By contributing to a community that values open communication, mutual respect, and shared growth, we not only uplift ourselves but also create a ripple effect that benefits everyone around us. In today's globalized world, where divisions often seem more pronounced than commonalities, the Stoic call to unity and mutual understanding is more important than ever. It challenges us to look beyond superficial differences and to recognize the fundamental humanity that unites us all. This is the essence of Stoic empathy, a recognition that the pain, joy, hopes, and dreams of others are reflections of our own. When we embrace this mindset, we open the door to deeper, more authentic relationships that transcend cultural, social, and political boundaries. We become part of a collective tapestry of human experience, each thread contributing to a richer, more vibrant picture of what it means to live together in harmony. Another vital element of Stoic relationships is the art of setting healthy boundaries. While Stoicism teaches us the value of connection and empathy, it also reminds us that self-care and personal integrity are paramount. It is not enough to open our hearts to others. We must also protect our own well-being. Establishing boundaries is an act of self-respect. It is the recognition that while we are deeply connected to others, we also have a right to maintain our individuality and inner peace. A Stoic approach to boundaries means communicating our needs clearly, respecting the limits of what we can offer, and understanding that sometimes, the healthiest relationships are those in which both parties can grow independently as well as together. This balanced approach to connection and autonomy is key to sustaining long-term, fulfilling relationships. Throughout history, many great thinkers and leaders have exemplified the Stoic approach to relationships. Consider, for instance, the correspondence between Seneca and his friend Lucilius, in which Seneca shares candid reflections on love, friendship, and the nature of human connection. Their letters reveal a deep, abiding respect for one another and a shared commitment to living virtuously, even in the face of life's inevitable hardships. Such examples serve as powerful reminders that the quality of our relationships is not measured by superficial metrics but by the depth of our connection and the authenticity of our interactions. They encourage us to seek relationships that challenge us to become better, to engage in honest dialogue, and to support each other's journeys toward wisdom. As we continue this exploration, I invite you to reflect on your own relationships, those that have enriched your life, as well as those that have presented challenges. What lessons have you learned from the people around you? How have your connections shaped your understanding of yourself and the world? In the Stoic view, every relationship, whether harmonious or fraught with difficulty, offers an opportunity for growth. The conflicts we experience, the misunderstandings we endure, and even the separations we face can all serve as catalysts for self-improvement, provided we approach them with the right mindset. By embracing the Stoic principles of empathy, forgiveness, and healthy boundaries, you can transform even the most challenging interactions into opportunities for deeper connection and personal evolution. In the context of modern life, where digital communication often replaces face-to-face interaction, the Stoic emphasis on authentic connection is particularly resonant. Social media platforms, while offering unprecedented opportunities for networking and sharing, can also foster feelings of isolation and superficiality. The Stoic path urges us to go beyond the surface, to seek out genuine, meaningful interactions that nourish our souls and support our growth. This might mean scheduling regular in-person meetups with friends, engaging in thoughtful conversation over a shared meal, or even taking time to write a heartfelt letter to someone who has influenced your life. In doing so, you not only honor the Stoic tradition of deep, reflective dialogue, but also create a network of relationships that enriches every aspect of your existence. Moreover, the practice of empathy in relationships requires a conscious effort to set aside our own biases and preconceptions. It calls for active listening, a willingness to hear not just the words of another, but the feelings and experiences that lie behind them. In a world where we are often quick to judge or react, the Stoic approach encourages us to slow down and truly understand the perspectives of others. This empathetic engagement can transform conflicts into opportunities for mutual growth, turning disagreements into stepping stones toward greater understanding. When we practice empathy, we open ourselves to the possibility of seeing the world through another's eyes, and in doing so, we come to appreciate the rich tapestry of human experience in all its diversity. As we reflect on the nature of Stoic relationships, it is important to recognize that building and maintaining deep connections requires ongoing effort and intentionality. Just as a garden requires regular care and nurturing to flourish, so too do our relationships demand attention, patience, and a willingness to grow together. There will be seasons of abundance and times of hardship, moments when the bonds we share are tested by external pressures or internal conflicts. Yet, it is precisely during these times of challenge that the strength of a relationship is revealed. A connection rooted in the principles of Stoicism, marked by mutual respect, open communication, and shared growth, can endure the storms of life, emerging stronger and more resilient on the other side. In this journey toward cultivating meaningful relationships, self-reflection plays a pivotal role. Take time to examine not only your interactions with others but also the underlying motivations that drive them. Ask yourself, what do I truly seek in my relationships? Is it validation, support, or a genuine connection that nurtures mutual growth? Understanding your own needs and desires is essential to forming authentic bonds. By aligning your relationships with your core values and aspirations, you create a foundation that is not easily shaken by the vagaries of life. Let us now explore the concept of forgiveness, a cornerstone of Stoic practice that is particularly vital in the realm of relationships. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior or forgetting past wrongs. It is about freeing yourself from the corrosive power of resentment and anger. The Stoics believed that holding on to grudges only serves to imprison the soul, preventing you from moving forward and growing. By practicing forgiveness, you choose to release the negative emotions that can cloud your judgment and hinder genuine connection. This act of letting go is an expression of strength, a recognition that you have the power to shape your inner world, regardless of the actions of others. Equally important is the practice of vulnerability, the willingness to open your heart and share your true self with others, even at the risk of being hurt. In a culture that often values invulnerability and perfection, the Stoic path reminds us that true connection is built on honesty and authenticity. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you create space for deeper empathy and trust. You invite others to see not only your strengths but also your struggles, and in doing so, you foster relationships that are built on a foundation of mutual understanding and compassion. Vulnerability, when embraced with courage and wisdom, becomes a powerful catalyst for transformation, both within yourself and in the bonds you form with others. As we continue this exploration of Stoic relationships, consider the interplay between individuality and togetherness. The Stoic philosophy teaches that while each of us is a unique expression of the universal, our well-being is deeply interconnected. This dual recognition, that we are both individual beings and integral parts of a larger whole, shapes how we relate to others. It calls for a balance between nurturing your own inner life and contributing to the collective well-being of your community. In practical terms, this means honoring your own needs while also being attentive to the needs of those around you. It means understanding that healthy relationships are not based on dependency, but on a mutual exchange of support, wisdom, and growth. In our fast-paced modern environment, where the demands of work, technology, and social expectations can leave little time for genuine connection, the Stoic approach to relationships offers a refreshing reminder to slow down and invest in what truly matters. It challenges you to set aside distractions and to engage with others on a deeper level, whether through a heartfelt conversation, a shared moment of silence, or a simple act of kindness. Each of these moments is an opportunity to build bridges of trust and empathy, to weave a network of relationships that can sustain you through life's inevitable ups and downs. Let me share a story that illustrates the transformative power of Stoic relationships. Imagine a person who, after years of feeling isolated and overwhelmed by the superficial interactions of modern life, decides to seek out deeper connections. They begin by reaching out to old friends, attending local gatherings centered around shared interests, and even joining online communities dedicated to Stoic philosophy and personal growth. Initially, the process is challenging. The old wounds of past betrayals and misunderstandings make it difficult to trust again. But with each genuine conversation and each act of kindness, they begin to rebuild a network of supportive relationships. Over time, this person discovers that the more they invest in honest, vulnerable interactions, the more they receive in return. Their relationships become a source of strength and resilience, helping them navigate life's challenges with a renewed sense of purpose and belonging. This transformation is a testament to the Stoic belief that while life may throw obstacles in our path, it also offers countless opportunities for connection and growth, if only we have the courage to embrace them. As we reflect on these insights, it is important to recognize that cultivating meaningful relationships is an ongoing process, a journey of continuous learning, self-improvement, and mutual support. There will be moments when you stumble, when misunderstandings arise, or when the challenges of life seem to strain your bonds. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that the Stoic principles of empathy, forgiveness, and vulnerability can guide you back to a place of connection. Remember that every relationship is a work in progress, a dynamic interplay of individual growth and shared experience. By approaching your relationships with an open heart and a commitment to continuous improvement, you create a fertile ground for lasting connection and genuine understanding. In conclusion, the Stoic approach to relationships offers a timeless framework for cultivating connection and empathy in a modern world. It teaches us that true strength lies not in isolation but in the bonds we form with others, bonds that are nurtured through empathy, authenticity, and mutual respect. As you continue on your personal journey, I encourage you to invest deeply in your relationships. Embrace the practices of mindful presence, reflective dialogue, and compassionate forgiveness. Let each interaction be an opportunity to practice empathy and to build a network of support that enriches your life and the lives of those around you. Remember that every meaningful connection is a reflection of your inner world, a mirror that shows you not only who you are, but who you have the potential to become. The journey to cultivating Stoic relationships is a lifelong pursuit, one that requires patience, commitment, and a willingness to embrace both your own vulnerabilities and the complexities of others. In this pursuit, you will find that every challenge, every conflict, and every moment of discomfort can be transformed into a stepping stone toward deeper connection and greater inner strength. Thank you for joining me on this part of our exploration into Stoic relationships. In the next part, we will delve even further into the practical applications of these principles, exploring how to nurture empathy in everyday interactions, the role of community in supporting personal growth, and strategies for balancing individual autonomy with collective connection. Stay with me as we continue this journey toward cultivating a life of connection, compassion, and Stoic virtue. Thank you for joining me on this part of our exploration into Stoic relationships. In the next part, We will delve even further into the practical applications of these principles, exploring how to nurture empathy in everyday interactions, the role of community in supporting personal growth, and strategies for balancing individual autonomy with collective connection. Stay with me as we continue this journey toward cultivating a life of connection, compassion, and Stoic virtue. Continuing from our earlier reflections on the nature of Stoic relationships, let us now turn our attention to the practical steps that can transform theory into everyday reality. In a world where digital chatter often replaces face-to-face dialogue, cultivating genuine human connection requires intentional effort and consistent practice. The Stoics understood that authentic relationships are forged not by superficial exchanges, but by deep, reflective interactions that honor both our individuality and our shared humanity. One of the most powerful tools for nurturing empathy is the practice of active, mindful listening. In our busy lives, it is all too common to hear others while our minds are preoccupied with our own thoughts. True Stoic empathy demands that we set aside our internal monologues and devote our full attention to the person before us. When engaging in conversation, consider pausing to truly observe not just the words being spoken, but the underlying emotions and intentions. Notice the tone, the pauses, and the body language that often reveal more than words alone. In doing so, you affirm the other person's worth and invite them to share their authentic self. This kind of attentive listening is not only a gift to those with whom you interact, but it also enriches your own inner life by exposing you to diverse perspectives and experiences. Alongside listening, reflective dialogue is essential. The Stoics believe that meaningful conversation serves as both a mirror and a window that reflects our inner state and a window through which we glimpse the lives and hearts of others. Consider setting aside time for regular discussions with friends or mentors where you can explore topics of mutual interest without the distractions of everyday life. Whether it's over a quiet cup of tea or during a dedicated group meeting, these conversations can become laboratories for personal growth, where ideas are tested, vulnerabilities are shared, and wisdom is co-created. By fostering an environment in which honest dialogue is encouraged, you not only build stronger bonds but also cultivate an ongoing practice of self-examination and communal learning. In addition to one-on-one interactions, the role of community in supporting and nurturing relationships cannot be overstated. The Stoic concept of cosmopolitanism reminds us that every individual is a part of a larger, interconnected whole. When we recognize that our well-being is intertwined with that of others, we are more inclined to act with compassion, fairness, and mutual support. In practical terms, this might mean actively seeking out communities, be they local groups, online forums, or organized gatherings, that share your commitment to personal growth and Stoic principles. These communities provide a safe haven where ideas can be exchanged freely, where the struggles of one are met with empathy from many, and where every member contributes to a collective reservoir of wisdom and resilience. Such communities can also serve as a powerful counterbalance to the isolation that modern life often imposes, reminding you that you are never truly alone in your journey. Another critical aspect of cultivating meaningful relationships is the art of setting healthy boundaries. While empathy and connection are essential, so too is the recognition that preserving your own well-being is paramount. The Stoics taught that living in accordance with nature involves not only extending compassion to others, but also being true to your own needs and limits. Setting boundaries is not an act of isolation or selfishness. It is an essential form of self-respect that enables you to maintain your inner equilibrium. Learn to say no when necessary, prioritize your personal time, and communicate your limits with clarity and kindness. By doing so, you create relationships that are balanced and sustainable, where both parties feel valued and respected. In exploring these practices, it is also important to acknowledge the transformative power of forgiveness. Holding on to past grievances can be like carrying a heavy burden that not only drains your energy, but also hinders your ability to connect meaningfully with others. The Stoics recognized that resentment is an impediment to both personal growth and authentic relationships. Forgiveness, then, becomes a deliberate act of liberation, freeing yourself from the chains of bitterness and allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart. This does not mean forgetting or excusing harm, but rather releasing the emotional grip that the past has on you. By embracing forgiveness, You open yourself to the possibility of renewal in every relationship, transforming old wounds into opportunities for deeper understanding and connection. Let us now consider a practical exercise that integrates these insights, a ritual that you can incorporate into your daily life to nurture empathy and cultivate meaningful connections. Begin each day with a few minutes of reflective meditation. Sit quietly and bring to mind a person with whom you have a relationship, whether positive or challenging. Visualize them clearly in your mind and try to see them as a whole person, someone with hopes, fears, and struggles just like you. Ask yourself, what might they be feeling right now? What experiences might have shaped their perspective? Allow yourself to feel compassion for their journey and silently offer them goodwill. This simple exercise can help shift your perspective from one of judgment or indifference to one of understanding and empathy. Over time, as you practice this daily, you will likely find that your interactions become richer and more authentic, infused with a quiet compassion that bridges differences and fosters deep connection. Moreover, consider the role of shared experiences in deepening relationships. In Stoic thought, engaging in communal activities, such as discussing philosophy, collaborating on projects, or simply enjoying a meal together, serves as a powerful means of reinforcing bonds. In today's fragmented social landscape, intentionally creating opportunities for shared experiences can be transformative. Organize or participate in gatherings where meaningful conversation is the norm rather than the exception. These might be book clubs focusing on Stoic texts, discussion circles on ethical living, or even informal meetups that celebrate the art of conversation. Such gatherings not only provide a platform for intellectual exchange, but also reinforce the Stoic ideal that we are all part of a larger, interconnected community. Another significant element of fostering authentic relationships lies in embracing vulnerability. In many modern contexts, vulnerability is mistakenly seen as a weakness, a flaw to be concealed. Yet, for the Stoics, acknowledging our imperfections and sharing our struggles is a profound act of courage. Vulnerability allows you to form connections that are based on truth rather than pretense. When you share your authentic self, your fears, your hopes, your moments of doubt, you invite others to do the same. This mutual openness can dissolve barriers and build trust, creating relationships that are resilient in the face of life's inevitable challenges. In practical terms, this might mean being honest about your struggles in a conversation or writing a heartfelt message to someone who has impacted your life. Over time, as you become more comfortable with vulnerability, you will notice that your relationships deepen, evolving into a rich tapestry of shared experiences and genuine empathy. As we continue to explore these dimensions of Stoic relationships, it is important to reflect on the interplay between individuality and togetherness. Each of us is a unique expression of the universal, yet our potential for growth is often realized most fully when we are part of a community. Balancing the need for personal autonomy with the desire for connection is a delicate art, one that requires both introspection and outreach. The Stoics teach that while self-reliance is crucial, so too is the ability to form bonds that honor our shared humanity. Recognize that nurturing relationships does not mean sacrificing your individuality. Rather, it involves bringing your whole self, your strengths, your vulnerabilities, your unique perspective, to the table. In doing so, you contribute to a dynamic exchange of ideas and experiences that enriches everyone involved. In practical terms, balancing individuality and collective connection might involve carving out time for personal pursuits that nourish your inner life, while also scheduling regular interactions with those who matter to you. It could mean setting aside a quiet hour for reading, meditation, or journaling, and then dedicating time to connect with friends, family, or like-minded community groups. By harmonizing these aspects of your life, you create a rhythm that supports both personal growth and meaningful relationships. The transformative power of Stoic relationships is perhaps most evident when we consider their impact on our overall well-being. Numerous studies have shown that strong, supportive relationships contribute significantly to mental and physical health, reducing stress, enhancing resilience, and even extending lifespan. The Stoic approach, centered on empathy, active listening, and authentic communication, offers a blueprint for cultivating such relationships. When you invest in deep, meaningful connections, you not only enrich your own life, but also contribute to a more compassionate, resilient community. This, in turn, creates a positive feedback loop. As your relationships grow stronger, your sense of security and belonging deepens, further enabling you to face life's challenges with courage and clarity. To solidify these ideas, I encourage you to experiment with small, actionable practices that foster genuine connection. Perhaps start by reaching out to someone you haven't spoken with in a while and engaging in a heartfelt conversation. Or try setting aside a specific time each week for a group discussion on topics that matter to you, a modern echo of the Stoic tradition of philosophical dialogue. Even simple gestures, like a handwritten note of appreciation or an earnest compliment, can have a profound impact on building and sustaining relationships. These acts of connection are the threads that weave together the fabric of a supportive community, each one contributing to a network of empathy, understanding, and shared resilience. As we draw this part of our exploration to a close, reflect on the many ways in which your relationships have shaped your life. Consider the times when a compassionate conversation, a shared moment of vulnerability, or a simple act of kindness has made a difference. Recognize that every interaction is an opportunity to practice Stoic principles, to cultivate empathy, to practice forgiveness, and to build bonds that not only enrich your own life, but also create a ripple effect of positivity in your community. In the next part of our journey, we will further explore how to integrate these practices into your daily routines and discuss strategies for overcoming the barriers that often prevent us from forming deep connections. We will delve into techniques for maintaining healthy boundaries while remaining open and vulnerable, and we will examine how to foster a community that thrives on mutual support and shared growth. Stay with me as we continue this exploration into the art of Stoic relationships, where every challenge is an opportunity to deepen our connection with ourselves and with others. As we continue our journey into the heart of Stoic relationships, it becomes clear that the practices we have discussed are not isolated techniques but interwoven elements of a comprehensive philosophy that can transform every aspect of our lives. Now, let us delve deeper into the art of integrating these practices into our daily routines, addressing modern challenges, and finding a balance between vulnerability and boundaries that nurtures lasting connection. Imagine the power of starting each day with a clear intention, a quiet moment of reflection where you set aside the noise of the world and focus on the relationships that matter most to you. This is not merely a ritual but an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to authenticity and connection. In these early moments, as the world slowly awakens, you can visualize the faces of those you care about, reflect on past interactions, and consciously decide to approach each encounter with openness and empathy. This daily practice anchors you in your values and provides a steady foundation for the rest of the day. Yet, modern life often presents obstacles that can undermine these aspirations. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, distractions are ubiquitous. Social media platforms, constant notifications, and the pressure to multitask can erode the quality of our interactions. To counteract this, it is essential to create dedicated spaces, both physical and mental, where deep, uninterrupted connection can flourish. Consider establishing connection zones in your daily schedule, where you deliberately set aside time to engage fully with others. This might be a weekly dinner with family or friends, a regular meeting with a mentor, or simply a quiet period in the evening where you turn off your devices and engage in meaningful conversation. These intentional moments of connection not only strengthen bonds, but also serve as a reminder that genuine relationships require time, presence, and mutual effort. In addition to carving out time for personal interactions, another significant challenge of modern relationships is the pervasive influence of digital communication. While technology can bridge distances, it can also create a veneer of connection that lacks the depth and authenticity of face-to-face dialogue. The Stoic path urges us to be mindful of this trade-off. When communicating online, strive for clarity and sincerity. Instead of relying solely on quick messages or superficial likes, consider taking the time to write thoughtful responses, share personal reflections, or even schedule video calls that allow for richer, more nuanced interactions. By doing so, you transform digital platforms from mere tools of convenience into avenues for genuine, empathetic exchange. Of course, embracing vulnerability remains a cornerstone of cultivating meaningful relationships. Yet vulnerability is a double-edged sword. It opens the door to deeper connection, but also requires the courage to expose parts of ourselves that we often keep hidden. The Stoics teach that true strength comes not from an impenetrable exterior, but from the willingness to be honest about our fears, hopes, and imperfections. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, whether by sharing your struggles with anxiety, admitting a mistake, or simply expressing your authentic feelings, you invite others to do the same. This mutual openness builds trust and creates an environment where empathy can thrive. It is through vulnerability that relationships are tested and ultimately strengthened, as each honest disclosure becomes a stepping stone toward deeper understanding. Yet, while vulnerability is vital, it must be balanced with the establishment of healthy boundaries. Without boundaries, the very openness that fosters connection can leave you feeling drained or overwhelmed. The Stoic approach to boundaries is not about erecting walls to keep others out. Rather, it is about recognizing your own needs and limitations so that you can sustain your inner well-being while engaging fully with the world. This means learning to say no when necessary, prioritizing self-care, and communicating your limits with clarity and kindness. Healthy boundaries ensure that your relationships are reciprocal, allowing you to give and receive support without compromising your own stability. In our journey toward fostering meaningful connections, it is also important to reflect on the role of forgiveness. Carrying grudges and unresolved resentments only deepens isolation and hampers growth. Forgiveness, as taught by the Stoics, is a deliberate act of liberation, a way to free yourself from the emotional burdens of past hurts so that you can move forward with a lighter, more open heart. Forgiveness does not imply condoning harmful behavior or forgetting the lessons learned. Rather, it is about releasing the negative energy that anchors you to pain. When you forgive, you create space for healing, and you signal to both yourself and others that the future holds the promise of renewal and deeper connection. Moreover, the cultivation of empathy goes hand in hand with the practice of reflective dialogue. Genuine conversations, where both parties listen attentively, share openly, and respond thoughtfully, are the lifeblood of enduring relationships. In these dialogues, you have the opportunity to explore differences, confront misunderstandings, and learn from one another's perspectives. Reflective dialogue is not simply about exchanging information. It is a process of mutual discovery, where each person's story enriches the collective narrative. Through such interactions, you not only deepen your understanding of others, but also gain insights into your own inner world, fostering a cycle of growth and connection. As we consider all these elements, intention setting, dedicated connection time, mindful digital communication, vulnerability balanced with healthy boundaries, forgiveness, and reflective dialogue, we begin to see how they collectively forge the path to enduring, meaningful relationships. The Stoic philosophy does not promise a life free from conflict or challenge. Rather, it offers a framework for engaging with the complexities of human connection with clarity, compassion, and resilience. Every relationship, with its inherent imperfections and occasional conflicts, is an opportunity to practice Stoic virtues, to build empathy, to refine your character, and to create bonds that can withstand the tests of time and adversity. In the modern world, where the pace of life can leave us feeling isolated despite the myriad channels of communication available, the Stoic commitment to authentic connection stands as a powerful counterpoint. It is a reminder that beneath the surface of our busy schedules and digital interactions lies a profound need for genuine, face-to-face engagement moments when we can look into another's eyes, share our true selves, and be heard without judgment. Whether you find these moments in a quiet cafe, during a leisurely walk in nature, or in the warmth of a family gathering, they are the true sustenance for the soul. Let us now turn our attention to the transformative power of community. The Stoics were ardent proponents of cosmopolitanism, the idea that every human being is part of a single, interconnected community. This belief extends far beyond geographic boundaries or cultural differences. It speaks to a fundamental truth about our shared humanity. In a community built on mutual respect, empathy, and a commitment to personal growth, every member contributes to a collective well-being that uplifts each individual. When you surround yourself with people who are equally dedicated to the pursuit of wisdom and authenticity, you create a support network that not only eases the burdens of personal challenges, but also inspires you to reach greater heights. A strong community nurtures the individual and, in turn, is enriched by the diverse strengths and experiences of its members. In practical terms, cultivating such a community might involve joining groups or forums centered on Stoic philosophy, attending local meetups or discussion circles, or even initiating your own gatherings where thoughtful dialogue is encouraged. These interactions can serve as catalysts for both personal and communal growth, offering you a safe space to share your insights, listen to others, and collectively explore the deeper questions of life. As you participate in these communities, you may find that the barriers of isolation begin to crumble, replaced by a network of relationships that is both supportive and inspiring. As our exploration nears its conclusion, it is time to integrate these insights and practices into a cohesive vision for how you can cultivate profound, Stoic relationships in your own life. The journey is not a one-time event but an ongoing process. A continuous commitment to self-reflection, mindful engagement, and the courage to embrace vulnerability while safeguarding your inner well-being. Each day presents new opportunities to practice these principles, to learn from every interaction, and to build connections that are as resilient as they are genuine. Imagine a life where every conversation is an opportunity for deep connection, every moment of conflict is a chance for growth, and every shared experience is a stepping stone to a richer, more compassionate existence. This vision is at the heart of the Stoic art of relationships, a vision that transcends the superficiality of modern interactions and reaches toward a more meaningful, connected way of being. It is a vision where the timeless wisdom of the Stoics is not confined to ancient texts, but is lived out daily in the quality of our interactions, the depth of our empathy, and the strength of our community bonds. In closing, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on the relationships that have shaped your life, both the joyous ones and the challenging ones. Recognize that every interaction, whether marked by warmth or discord, is an opportunity to learn and grow. Embrace the Stoic principles of empathy, forgiveness, and mindful presence, and allow them to guide you toward more authentic, fulfilling connections. As you commit to this path, remember that true connection is a journey, a continuous process of building trust, nurturing vulnerability, and celebrating the shared humanity that unites us all. Thank you for joining me on this extensive exploration of Stoic relationships. I hope that the insights, practices, and reflections we have shared inspire you to deepen your connections, foster empathy, and contribute to a community grounded in mutual respect and shared growth. May you find the strength to forgive, the courage to be vulnerable, and the wisdom to build relationships that not only endure the tests of time, but also enrich your life in ways you never thought possible. Welcome to Stoic Relationships, a place where every interaction is an opportunity to cultivate virtue, every challenge a chance to build resilience, and every moment a step toward a more compassionate, connected world. As you move forward, carry with you the understanding that genuine relationships are not built overnight, but are nurtured through consistent, heartfelt effort. Let your journey be one of continuous growth, where every conversation, every shared smile, and every act of kindness adds to the tapestry of your life, weaving together a network of connections that uplift and sustain you. Thank you for listening and for being part of this journey toward deeper, more meaningful relationships. May your path be illuminated by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, and may you always find comfort and strength in the bonds you build along the way. Until we meet again, keep striving for connection, keep embracing empathy, and above all, keep nurturing the relationships that make life truly worthwhile.